Everyone, you're watching the late night football show, and today we are particularly very late. Because we have just witnessed Manchester City being getting the trophy for the 2021 season of Premier League. What a moment, Aniket.
Absolutely, amazing moment. So many months of hard work finally paying off, and
And
fifth Premier League trophy for Manchester City. Big moment.
and what a final day drama this has been, like for the whole Premier League. Eventually it actually ended up in the same way that it was before this, but it was not without its due dramas and here and there fluctuations, but pretty comfortable win for Manchester City in the end. The game itself was I don't know. It was like Everton just they were like giving us a tribute or something. It really felt like that. The space that they were giving the people in the boxes.
Exactly. I think we were too much for Everton, and Man City hasn't been this dominant in this season for many matches. Before that, we saw Man City winning 6-7-0, but this match was particularly, and this is a strong Everton side. They were fighting for Europe, and clearly it didn't look like they want to get into
Exactly.
Europe.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Did it really felt like to you that
No, I don't know. Maybe that fans were allowed and Aguero playing his last game, and every player was up to the mark today for Man City. So
yeah,
maybe and
because
quality itself just overwhelmed them because
when
I was
Jesus
looking at the
scored,
stats and
I was like, oh
I
my
was
god, today is going to be something.
that was yes, that was the moment when I also thought that it might be a goal fest because 15 minutes in Man City scoring two goals, it's very rare they don't end up with 4-5 nil. So and I was looking at the stats and the front three and the and the mid three, all of them registered something today. So that
Hmm.
actually caps a dominating performance. So good win, good season for Man City,
But we did
big
not
trophy.
see Ilkay Gundogan and Bernardo Silva today feature in but no, Bernardo Silva came in as a right? Or did he not?
No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
He did
So
not.
so
Torres and Rodri
so
and Aguero, of course.
is it does it give any indication, because we knew that Bernardo Silva and Gundogan are going to play in the Champions League final, and we are sure that Gundogan is going to play. But what about Bernardo Silva?
I think he will play Bernardo Silva. Maybe Gundogan. I know that he had a knock
Yeah, yeah.
last game, so that might be the reason that he didn't start today. And Pep wants him fresh.
No, 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 that
And
was yeah.
Bernardo Silva also, I think that he maybe wanted to give Gabriel Jesus and Sterling one last chance or a game before the finals. And these players, they do not need a few games to come into form.
Hmm.
Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, they do something. They do not. I mean, but Gundogan did have a scoring season, but he generally does not score. He always
Yeah.
builds up the play that leads up to the goal. So that's just talent for even for Bernardo Silva. So I'm not disappointed that they didn't play today.
And for personally for me, I think all the title victories that I have witnessed with my eyes, they have been so different to one another. But in terms of this season, it is the only season, I think, in the all the title winning season that I witnessed where we were not. I did not give us chance to win this year. For a long time, because I knew that we will be in the mix for at least for the top places. But I was wary of that Liverpool. Especially the way they started the season, that they will not drop.
Hmm.
Even if we catch up, I did not expect them to drop so badly. So because people were saying that we was like pretty down in the table, but actually we had a lot of games in our hands. So I always knew that we will eventually go up, but I did not expect the other teams to perform so badly. So it is the way City found that consistency, because I heard one pundit say that any team that can actually put a good run of form together in this
Hmm.
season
Hmm. Hmm.
will
Hmm.
actually end up winning.
Hmm.
And this is actually what has happened,
Hmm.
I think.
This this is not only this season actually because even when Liverpool were at the top of the table and Man City were struggling, I I did not personally, as a Man City fan, and did not think that we would win the
Exactly.
Premier League because the mentality wasn't there. We were all over the place. But there is one thing, that there are only two teams in England that can have those big run of victories. Like, and those two teams are Man City and Liverpool.
Hmm.
And Man City showed it this season. They went 21 games in a winning in a row. And Liverpool, they were unlucky, of course. But even with a full fit Liverpool, I don't think that Man City, they would have caught up to Man City, because I don't know, maybe, and this shows how Pep Guardiola actually thinks about the future also. 2 3 years of, buying players, because Ben
This
Mendy, they did fill up the places, because Zinchenko was fresh for most of the matches. That was because Benjamin Mendy was playing as a rotating, and the way Pep Guardiola rotated the squad, that's also one of the biggest keys. And I think that was the one thing that actually stood out from the rest 19 teams that
and
gave us the trophy.
and when you talk about Pep Guardiola, I mean, I just saw his video before coming on this podcast, and he was so emotional. I've never seen him this emotional. I know. I mean, he has created one of the best, most enjoyable teams to watch. I mean, I still watch their videos, and I still love the way the Barca team played, and even the City team of 17-18 was just unbelievable, and the 18-19 team for the resilience that they showed. But this season has to be his. I mean, he has said that it is his hardest season. But I've seen
Hardest season.
managers and players, but this is some things that sometimes if it sounds out of the way, but this season would be really special if especially if we end up winning the Champions League. I think it would be really special even for Pep Guardiola, who is a serial winner and who has won 6 trophies in a season. But I think this season would be special for him. Why do you think that would be?
Obviously, this would be a special season because he had his career's worst start in the beginning of this season,
Hmm.
and there were so many criticism on him, that maybe it's time for him to go somewhere else. His contract was expiring, and he didn't sign it for some time, and then he signed it. That showed his determination, that he wants to build this team
Hmm.
again, because we saw so many players departing from this team: Vincent Company, Zabaleta, Yaya Toure, David Silva, Aguero this year. Fernandinho is on our edge, but maybe he will stay. But these are the crucial players who won us the previous titles, and now it's time for the new generation to win us the title, and they did deliver this time. And Pep Guardiola, with him 2 more years, I can see Man City winning it again. So, and that's what special was. That's why it was so special, because he's never stayed for a transition. I won't say that this is a proper transition period for Man City, but it's somewhat there, because our
In a way
defensive
it
line
is.
was
In a way
completely,
it is.
it
Like
yes,
yeah.
our attack was different. We had
Yeah,
Sane, Sterling, and Aguero before that,
exactly.
and this time it was so many. Gabriel
From the
Jesus
back
wasn't a
line to
starter.
the whole team, I think the
From
way,
the Yes,
yeah,
I
it
think the
has.
mid, except for the mid, maybe other
Even
than
no,
that, everyone was.
even in mid,
Yeah,
Rodri
Rodri.
plays
Yeah,
a
did
huge
Rodri
part.
play?
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
and
Yeah, so
Alvira.
it was a kind
Yeah,
of a transition, and he does not normally stays for a transition, but
I
it
think this was
showed
the
that
first
he
time he
he
actually rebuilt a squad because of the amount of time he spent at this time club.
it this
And
also showed, yes, because it's his fifth year, and he has spent a lot of money in the previous. And this, I would say that all those money, it's just paying off now, because the squad
yeah,
we have, 15, 16, 17 good players who can, there are talks that the bench of Man City can also come into the top four. So that, and we need,
but I
not only
mean,
we,
but that is
any
not. I
team needs
think
that.
people take some things out of context that bench of Man City can.
Yeah, but
But what? But no. But because why I say this is that City has won the Carabao Cup. We were in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and now we are in the finals of the Champions League. Actually, so the bench is not there just for Premier League. It is because the
hmm,
number of games
hmm,
that we actually play.
hmm,
We need
hmm.
that bench because otherwise the players are just gonna go
And
down
this
because
this
they are
would be the
humans.
biggest season that
Yeah,
Man City is going to play, because
yeah.
we are playing so
And
many more games
especially
this
this
season.
so the season it was so hard without fans, without so many restrictions, so many protocols that players
Hmm.
and my staff members and the ground members, coaches have to follow. So I mean, it has been a very unusual season, and particularly it will end up in one of the best season perhaps for Manchester City. But in terms of uh, we have to talk about it. The legend himself, Aguero. I mean, I mean, I love the guy. I mean, I'm actually the way I used to play football, I have always been, I looked up to him as a player, and I've kind of tried to play like him. He was the superstar. I think in this City team, in the past few City teams, I mean, he was the one true superstar. I mean, we had good players. I'm not saying that he was the only world class player, but in terms of like his persona and everything, he was the one superstar for us. And he, what a way to sign off. What a way he debuted and what a way to sign off now in this. Obviously, there is a huge
Exactly.
match. Probably he will end up having a role in that match. But what about his career, and where do you rank him, especially in the Premier League?
He, uh, it's just what today, the way he plays today, it just shows what his career is all about. He was trailing by a goal for matching the record of Wayne Rooney,
And he ended
and
up broking
he
it.
ended up breaking it. So that's what, and always, in Manchester United's head, this guy Sergio Aguero is, because I'm pretty sure that Manchester United fans would have not wanted Aguero to break this. And when
Yeah,
he missed
yes,
that penalty in
obviously,
Chelsea,
obviously.
obviously, and when he missed that penalty against Chelsea, it was all like, oh, he's not gonna match it, and he ended up breaking it. And I don't see Kane maybe, but it's
Oh, now
he's almost probably
it looks now
it's
hard for him to.
it's so hard. No, I'm talking about one club, and he's
No,
probably leading
that's what I'm
Tottenham.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Now it looks
So
hard for him because
in the near future, I don't see anyone breaking that record. Yes, he could not be the top scorer in the league all time. He's the top scorer, non-English all-time top scorer. These stats show how good player he was, and he was here for 10 years. That's a whole decade. And if you don't count the past 2 years where he didn't play as much, those are still 8 years. He's scoring more than 20 goals a season. That was something, and such
I mean,
consistency
wow.
that he brings. And one thing that I love about Aguero, and I don't see anyone else having that thing except for Messi, Ronaldo, obviously, that till the final whistle, if that guy is on the pitch and if your team is losing, this guy can turn it around.
Hmm,
And he has
true,
done that in so many occasions before.
true.
And so
I mean,
that's Sergio Aguero.
I would say, I mean, there are so many great moments that he has given us, but I mean, I when I will think about Aguero, I will actually remember some of the matches that nobody would ever remember. Actually, it was one of those few matches that we used to play in the sometimes a lower league, lower a team in the lower half or the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just scrape the result, and Aguero would end in the scoring sheet somehow.
Mm-hmm.
He would always
Always
get the
be there
goals.
on the scorer.
He would
Always be
always
there
get
on
the
the
goals.
scoring
I
sheet.
don't know how he would just get the goals, and it was amazing. Some of the times actually it was unbelievable the memories he has given us. And if I laid out, I don't really believe in stats, but some of his stats are just the quality of those stats is unbelievable. The guy with the most goals against the big six, the guy with the
Mm.
most goals,
Most hat tricks.
yeah, most hat tricks in the Premier League. And I mean, before this match, I was actually seeing which players have scored actually more goals against one particular teams. And actually, he had not scored against Everton a lot of goals. I think but now he again scored two against them. So I think he will be up there again. So I mean, what a legend, what a story. And was there one more game left, and I would not count him out to have a big say in that. But I mean, I cannot say anything about that match because
I
it
I
ended now.
I definitely I definitely would want to see him. Not probably not as a starter, but as today he showed that he can come into the 60th minute, and he almost got a hat trick. It was so heartbreaking that Pickford saved that header. But I
Yeah.
thought that it was going in, and it was a hat trick. It was his 13th hat trick. It was going to be, but it was so heartbreaking then.
Yeah.
But what a guy, what a player, and to do this in front of fans, it was really special for him.
And
It was like it was all written that it has to be happen.
true.
It had to happen today.
And we know, and we have already talked about this, and we this is in our mind, it has been in our mind for some time now. The match against Chelsea in the Champions League final. How confident are you now as compared to the one after the Brighton game, maybe, or like,
Those games really didn't shake my confidence because even after we lost against Chelsea just after those semi-finals, I was in this podcast itself. I told that it won't matter too much because it's all about who is the better team on that day.
hmm,
Chelsea lost today, so I think they would have some pressure. Do
I
they
think
qualified for Champions League
I
for next
mean
year?
both for both the teams. I will just say this. I mean, I don't know if people know this, but they have this is a very important point actually. In the both the loss that we had against Chelsea, De Bruyne was not playing. Today, when Chelsea lost, Kante was not playing. So remember that
Hmm.
these two players for these two teams are so crucial. I mean, and that I think I probably think that it will be on those two. Whoever wins the battle that day, I think. I mean, I know it will be a team performance and everything, but just the
But in
way.
these big
Yes,
matches, the one individual always does step
yeah,
up.
so I think for
And
them it's Kante and for us it's De Bruyne, and I think whoever has the upper hand on that day will actually end up saying have a lot the last say for his team. So I mean,
also that there's one good news for Man City fans. I don't know whether it's good news or not, but Mendy got injured today,
really,
and Kepa was bought
how
in.
serious injury?
I don't. That's we have to wait for that. I
Okay,
didn't see that match, but a friend of mine told me that Mendy was injured and Kepa came in. And I won't say this is a very good news for us because Kepa can also do some things.
exactly.
Hopefully he doesn't if he plays, but it does boost the confidence of one team and it does demoralizes the other team.
In
So
the end, I think we have just come to an end, and this is my victory celebration cake, and and
that looks
uh,
delicious.
yes, and I think that's the only bite that I'm going to take because honestly I'm happy that we have won, but still my heart is set on the 29th of May and everything is resting on that. So uh, I mean, I won't say much, but yeah, I mean, for me it is probably the biggest game that I think we have played in some time now. I mean,
It's not probably, it's the biggest game
yeah,
we are going to play. There's no
so
probably in this. We maybe the 1971 Cup Winners' Cup finals would have been big, as big,
I
but
don't know, I don't
in the
think that would
modern,
have no, I don't think even
we
that, I
weren't
mean,
there.
probably
We weren't
probably
there at that time because Cup Winners' Cup was a big thing right back
yeah,
then.
I
So
know, but I mean,
maybe, but for this era, for a team that has never won this trophy, and we are criticized so many times that spending so many monies, having such a good squad, we still don't win. This shows how difficult it is to win
yeah,
the Champions League.
so
And 29th
hopefully
May, Porto.
So hopefully we
Let's see what
will
happens.
be on the podcast with another victory celebratory cake and something else maybe, but because there will be something a lot more. Believe me, if we do end up winning. But so for now, till we are the champions. We have been the champions for some time, but it is official now, and so I mean. We say goodbye to for the and for the especially for Etihad now, like for the home game, for to our legend Aguero. Thank you, Aniket, for coming on and well,
Thank you so
what a
much.
great day. Well, hopefully it will same on the big day.